Hey guys, welcome back to Angela's Angel, and on this topic, as you guys can see, we're going to talk about how the narcissist plays themselves. You guys, how the narcissist plays themselves. So excuse my background, you guys, I'm really not in the mood to edit any videos today, so I just wanted to come on here real quick on this Sunday and just talk to you guys about how these people play themselves, because while you're in it, you're getting played, and in order for you to get any gain, any type of knowledge, real life knowledge, it's like you can go to school and learn certain things, right? And it's not until you start your job in that career that everything you learn has to play out. And sometimes you might even realize that you might not like this job, or you might realize it's more difficult than you thought, or sometimes, you didn't understand or comprehend, or you didn't comprehend the seriousness or the extent of what you learned until you're watching it play out. It's like you can learn the rules to a game. You're playing cards or whatever game you're playing. And it's not until you start playing that, you might make some errors, you learn from mistakes, right? So that's how narcissist relationships are. When you're in it and you can't get out of it, and things are happening and you're being gaslit and you don't know how to control your emotions, it's all a game, Controlling your emotions itself is part of the game when you're dealing with these type of people. Why is it so important to control your emotions? Because as you know, when you're dealing with narcissistic people, they don't care about positive, negative energy. They don't care about good and bad. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in the devil, and to them, it's not just not believing in something or a higher power. It's not just understanding, even if you aren't religious, right? It's not even about looking at the scientific part of it as far as how animals work, right? Human beings are animals and narcissists are animalistic. So narcissists are not dumb. They understand a lot of information. This is why a lot of times when you're around them, you feel like you're learning from them, or you feel like they have something to teach you. And the narcissist is selling you out, because to them it's like, I can abuse you, I can torture you, I can exploit you, I can be financially abusive, I can cheat on you, I can make you believe that I'm going to give you all these things that you want. I can pretend like I'm going to be this, domesticated husband or wife, whatever it is that you want. But they know that they're wild animals. And not only are they wild animals, but they're wild animals without morals, right? They don't like rules, right? Even in the animal kingdom, there's certain rules, even if there's that animalistic nature of having to get fuel, supply, food to survive, there's still rules. Animals eat at a certain time. Animals, they're not going to kill every animal in sight. They're going to kill what they need, in order to survive. And as human beings, that are supposed to be smarter and more civilized, we tend to do the same. But of course, greed is very powerful. So the narcissist is someone who is very animalistic, and they gain information from people But even though they have all of this artificial intelligence, all this information, they go against it because of their animalistic nature. And in their animalistic nature, they don't care about right or wrong. They don't care if they're gaslighting you, hoovering you, discarding you over and over again, because they feel like, hey, you should know what a predator is by now. Didn't your parents tell you not to take candy from strangers? These rules, like I keep saying, they still apply when you get older. If you were told, hey, don't talk to strangers because I'm not around, don't get in a car with a stranger, don't take candy, don't take gifts from strangers, don't take nothing from anybody, because it's going to come with a prize. Narcissists tend to be givers even in the beginning. Or when you're in vulnerable situations, they'll come, they'll rescue you, but it's going to come with the prize, meaning that when they start abusing, or they start their toxic behaviors, or they start to blame shift you for problems in their life that you might even be trying to help them by giving them good advice, they don't listen. And instead, they attack you like wild animals. They feel like if you're not on my side, if you're not fueling me, you're against me, and they will attack you. And after they're attacking you, just like any animal, even siblings within what, animals and siblings will fight with each other for territory, for space, or just play fight. And you might think you're really fighting somebody, right? You're going back and forth verbally. But to the narcissist, it doesn't mean anything. When you're getting upset, when you're getting angry, to the narcissist, it doesn't mean anything. When you're crying, it doesn't mean anything. Your emotions don't matter to the narcissist. To them, that's playing. When they got you arguing and stuff, that's playing to them. So when you go back and forth with them, they feel like, oh, you want to play? Let's play. And you're thinking, this person is sick. They don't care about why you're fighting. They don't care about why you're arguing. They don't care if they did something to attack you, to hurt you, or if they hurt your feelings. They don't care about that. To them, it's, oh, you want to play fight? Let's play fight. And you're not play fighting with them. You're not playing with them, right? And you could tell them, hey, I'm not playing with you. And they might seem angry. They might even get aggressive, and they might even scare you. They might even get physical. You know what I'm saying? But to them, they don't feel nothing when all that is going on. They're just, if anything, you're just allowing them to release all of the anger, the fear, everything they feel inside. You're basically they're releasing it on you. This is why they don't care about positive or negative energy or anything, because it's all about attacking and feeling relieved, feeling good about themselves. That's what supply is there for. So a lot of times you're thinking about them being happy with other people, not knowing, hey, this person is going to need a punching bag with that type of anger that they got, and sometimes it might even seem like they change for the new person, right? So a lot of times when you think that the narcissist is doing better with someone else, you're subtracting the fact that this is a hateful person. This is a person that they only thrive when you're uplifting them, meaning that, you could do everything in your power to make this person feel good, feel happy, be satisfied. But even that is not going to satisfy them. Even that is not going to fuel them enough, right? Meaning that a lot of times people get along with narcissists because narcissists, they're the type of people that will just start talking to you. They're the type of people that, they study people, they study your behaviors. They approach you. They almost feel very approachable, right? That's scary. That's scary, right? If you're telling your kid, hey, don't, talk to strangers, don't take candy from strangers, and you got a person coming up to you as an adult, and they're approaching you, asking you personal questions, If you befriend these people, they walk through your house. They're very curious people. They're walking through your house. They're analyzing everything. Oh, can I use your bathroom? You don't even want to invite these people in your home. They'll just be passing by. Hey, can I use your bathroom? They're going through your cabinets. They do things that you just wouldn't do. This is why you have to be very careful. But at the end of the day, the narcissist ends up playing themselves, because when they're being sneaky, a lot of times they think that people don't notice certain things, right? For example, my grandmother was someone who, she would keep a $20 bill on top of her microwave, just because there was people coming in and out of the house. You know, I have a lot of family, just a big, huge family, and it'll just always be people coming out the house, friends coming over, you know, people from church, you know, neighbors. So people always coming in and out the house. Her whole concept of putting that $20 bill was to see if anybody would take it. The narcissist is the type of person that would take it. It's kind of like those videos that go viral when people tell their kids, hey, don't eat this snack until I come back, and the kid eats the snack and everybody's laughing on the video and things like that. That's nothing to laugh about. That's nothing to laugh about, because as these people get older, they don't listen. They don't listen, right? You take them to the store, they don't listen. You know, you're telling them, hey, we're just going to go in and out. I might buy you one candy, but that's it. Because you want to teach your kids not to be greedy. Because now when the greed comes, that's when stealing comes, and that's when lying comes. That's when cheating and all the pathological victim blaming while being a whole predator yourself, right? That's where all that shit comes from. I'm just being real. Because a lot of people laugh at stuff that's really not funny. You know, it's funny, it's cute kids, but it's not funny if these children don't learn at a young age not to do these things. And I think that this is why I was able to see a lot of the narcissist's bad karma coming. But the narcissist what they do is they try to confuse you. They try to gaslight you to believe that what you know to be facts isn't true. They're like, oh, you think things are going to go bad with me. You think that because what I did, you think that I'm going to get karma. You think God is going to strike me. Because sometimes you'll use God and you'll say, oh, you know, you'll say things in a religious way because you're trying to make somebody feel empathy for you. So you'll even use God for a narcissist to feel sorry for you. And what you're going to see is that they don't care. They're like, you could use God, you can call me a devil, I don't care, because they know you can't figure out what's going on, right? They want you to feel like karma just does not come for them, you know, but they always have to pay the price. But they want you to believe, I don't have to pay the price. You know, I'm going to go to another level, and even if I do got to pay the price, I'm still at this other level. You know what I'm saying? I still con my way into another relationship. So even if I pay the price, even if I get bad karma and bad things happen to everybody, right? And they become more and more delusional. And what happens is that you believe the delusion. You're like, damn, this motherfucker is like a monster, and there's nothing that you can do to bring this person down. You thinking that way because, you got to be focused on yourself. But because you love this person, that's what's throwing you off. Because you're feeling feelings towards someone that doesn't feel shit and who is actually miserable, and they don't want you to feel anything. They don't want you to feel joy. They don't want you to feel anything. Even when you're on good terms with these people and you think you have a good vibe going, you feel like, okay, we're alike in many ways, we understand each other's jokes. When you feel like you have a connection to them, you will notice that they'll start to overpower you, meaning that even if things are going well, they want to make sure that you know that they're more important, that they're more special. As long as they're talking, as long as they're laughing, as long as they're joking, as long as they're dancing around like clowns and you're giving them attention, it seems like they're likable people. This is how they attract new supply, because it feels like they're likable people, because they're doing everything they can to impress, that new supply. But once they get with people and now they have to see that person's real side, their true side, deal with their day-to-day basis of who they really are. See, they could put on a show when you don't know them. And when you're aware of narcissism and you see these people putting on a show, you'll basically feel like like when people stand on the corner, or like they go to like Fremont Street over there in Las Vegas, where everybody is, there's showgirls, there's people doing cool tricks, and there's people painting or making music, and people are giving them change. Performers. The narcissist is a performer. That's actually what a narcissist does. They perform. They don't have an identity. They perform to fit the script, right? So as long as they're able to perform for you, and you're falling for the performance, and you're falling for the magic tricks, they're like happy. They're watching you. They're studying you. They're watching you. They're observing you, observing them. They're very observant people, just like, they're very curious people. So they're always curious about how you feel about them, or how you think about them, or, when they do something, especially in the beginning, when they do something that is a red flag, they'll think to themselves later on that day, oh man, I think I gave the new supplier a red flag. They usually, just like a lot of times when a narcissist tries to con you or lie to you, it's not till you get home sometimes that you're like, you think back on your day and what someone said, and then you think to yourself, I think they were lying, right? The narcissist, a lot of times they analyze their conversations too, and they think to themselves, oh, that was a red flag. I should have never said that. And you'll go, if you're someone who's in the fog about narcissism, and you just trust people, you trust them to be who they say they are, then you're going to go home to your family. You're not going to think about that conversation. But what a narcissist does is that they're so curious to the point that when you see them again, it's not like, hey, how you doing? It's like, let's start off on the conversation we had last time. The last conversation we had, let's start off on there. Let's pick up on that. And and a lot of times it'll go over people's heads. You have to think to yourself, why would someone want to pick up off on what we were talking about last time, right? You might not think nothing of it, but they'll start talking about something that they know they gave you a red flag on, to correct themselves. So a lot of times what the empath doesn't know is that you're actually healing the narcissist. A lot of times when you meet these people, they're actually more broken than you think that they are. They actually feel like they're more broken than you. It's kind of like when you're healing from narcissist abuse and you don't know what's going on, and you're talking to different people, not knowing that the same people that you might be talking to don't have the kind of emotions that you have. And it doesn't make them necessarily a narcissist. Some of them might have been through a lot of shit, or they might have went through narcissist abuse, and they choose to live their life where they don't want any negativity, right? So you will notice that you have to deal with this on your own, right? You have to deal with it on your own. The narcissist cannot deal with things on their own. You have to think about that one first. They're expecting you to deal with shit on your own, but they can't do it. That's why they have to monkey branch. They can't be alone. But then they're forcing you to be alone. So they're inflicting pain on you, the same pain that they don't want to go through. For someone to purposely inflict pain on someone purposely like that, they had to have felt that pain themselves, right? It's not like, oh, I'm inflicting pain on someone because I'm the type of person I've never been through nothing. I just naturally been inflicting pain on others. And the reason they know how, and you have to also think about it. When they're inflicting pain, they know your pain tolerance. They know when they're crossing the line. They know exactly when to hoover you, when to come back, because that's the pain they feel inside. A lot of times the reason they're inflicting pain is because you're not doing as they say. They're not able to fully control you. And a lot of times why they're not able to fully control you is because they try to get you to do things, or they do things that cause red flags that tell your spirit and your mind that something is wrong. So in order to really be in a committed relationship with someone, right, you have to have full trust, meaning that you have to trust someone to the point where when they say something, you're going to listen, right? This is why I can come across, I can talk to certain people. I can talk to even children. I have little cousins who will come up to me and they'll respect what I have to say to them when I'm giving them game about, school, friends, when I'm giving them information about, different angles of different lives and different perspectives. What I realize is that the reason they can't see different perspectives is because of their limited view on the world and themselves, and because they're too into themselves, too into their own mind and their own problems and their own insecurities to be able to put themselves in other shoes. You can't put yourself in other shoes if there's something wrong with you. If you're too consumed with yourself, it doesn't matter how arrogant, how confident you try to be. The fact that others' happiness agitates you, there's something wrong with you, like a child, right? And when I talk to, like my little cousins and they listen to me, I think to myself, why is it that certain people treat other people better than their own family or their friends? Why is it that with, my little cousins, it's not about respecting me because of money or because of status? They would rather take advice from me than, that family member that just has everything, right? Because that family member that has everything, they might have everything, but logically, there's something wrong there. There's insecurity, there's hate, there's jealousy, something's going on. So when someone sees you live in your true, authentic self and they see that you don't care, you have the same confidence the narcissist has. The difference is that you're not bashing people. You're not... if you've done something hurtful to someone, you're not going to try to inflict more pain, right? If you did something in the past that you did that you're ashamed of, you're okay with taking accountability, right? The narcissist does not want to take accountability, because taking accountability is basically saying, I got my karma and that's the only reason I'm apologizing. And it's going to give you and they feel like it's going to give you some type of satisfaction for them to apologize or to just be nice to you, right? You divorce these people, you break up with they're evil to the end, right? They're evil. They act like you did something to them. It's crazy. But the reason they do this is because they're like a child. Like if you study the mind of a child who's not fully developed, and they still have the chance to develop because they're young, right? So they have narcissistic traits, right? A kid can have narcissistic traits at a young age. They don't want to share their toys. They're insensitive, right? But these things can change as they get older, especially when they're listening to their parents, when their parents are enforcing rules, when their parents are taking things away, when they're not behaving, when, this child can control their behavior instead of throwing tantrums. When a child throws tantrums and now the parent starts rewarding them because they just want them to shut the hell up, right? Or they reward them because they know their personality, they know their anger, they know their greed so well. The parents already know, oh, if I do this, I do that, it's going to piss my kid off, so I'm going to just give them this. Let me give them their toy so they don't do this, so they don't do that. They're not trained. You're just giving them stuff, right? So the narcissist has that attitude where you almost have to buy them, you know? You have to buy them. And not only that, they're competing with you. Not only do they not appreciate anything, they're competing with you, right? The narcissist is like someone who steals information from you. And you think because you learned a lot from them, right? You feel like they gave you game because you're like, I was around this person for years and I learned so much. You know, you can go get you a dog, you can go get you an animal, and you can learn a lot from the animal too. You're going to learn that certain animals just don't love you, and they love you as long as you're giving them snacks, right? So a narcissist, you know, as long as you're giving them supply, they love you, right? As long as you're giving them as soon as you are calling them out on their bullshit, on their fantasy world, on their delusions, what are they going to say? They're going to say that you're delusional. They're going to point the fingers at you. The reason they point the fingers at you is because they don't want you to point the fingers at them. And then what will get you so flabbergasted is that if you are talking clear to this person and you're deciphering what they're doing, they're getting mad at you like they're getting offended like you're insulting their intelligence, but there is no intelligence there, you know? They're stuck somewhere where they just do not get or understand or process things the way you process things from an emotional level. So the narcissist is very good at fooling people because in certain situations, it's better not to use your emotions, right? When people are talking down on you, when people are being negative, when people are assuming they know who you are. In a lot of situations, in most situations in life, especially because there's narcissists everywhere, it's better not to live off of emotions, right? But you know you have emotions. You know that narcissists love producing negative emotions because they feel like if they take your good energy, you'll be left with more negative energy. So when you come across certain situations that you might have ran across before, you're gonna react out of emotion, and the emotion that you're gonna feel is anger. You're gonna want to defend yourself, right? Because maybe you felt like before you didn't defend yourself. That is purposely done by the narcissist so that you can be argumentative with people because that's where they're stuck at. So the narcissist is basically toying with you. They're putting you through tests that they actually went through. And then on top of that, while you're going through it, they'll even tell you, oh, I went through that too. I went through, and you're kind of like, why didn't you give me the heads up? Or sometimes they give you the heads up, but they're the ones who planted the seeds for that to happen in the first place. So they'll tell you the truth, but they planted those seeds in the first place. And when they give you any type of information that is useful, they're not going deep into what you need to know because they only touch on surface levels. So a lot of times you might feel like, oh, why didn't they tell me this? Why didn't they tell me that? They sure did tell me that they went through this before, but I know it was them who planted the seeds, so they're sabotaging you, and then they're telling you they went through certain situations as well. But the reason they don't try to save you is because they feel like you should save yourself. So everything is surface level with them. They're not going to get too deep into into teaching you anything or into helping you or building you. Anything that's going to build you, uplift you, they're not going to put as much energy on that. they're not, like I said, when a narcissist lies or they make a mistake or give a red flag, they overthink shit, right? And they know, once they overthink stuff, they know how to twist things so that you can, so that they can, so that they can keep you in the fog if you're not paying attention. If you're paying attention and this person's coming off and they're starting off on the last conversation you had with them, and you know what they're trying to do. But for the most part, the reason the narcissist won't give you any true game is because they only learn what they need to learn. They overthink things and they study things, but it's only to get them by, right? It's only to get them by. So they don't have time to process things and to have enough, they don't have the patience to sit there and help you. You know what I'm saying? Because they need you to help them. That's why they're with you. They feel like by inflicting the pain and seeing how you handle the pain, that can help them handle their own pain. It's very sick. It's very sick, y'all. It's very twisted. These are some of the most annoying people. When you're in a relationship, you love them, you're attached to them, you're physically connected to this person for life. You were intimate with them. You exchange energies with them. So what they do is that they take off with your energy and they don't give you any credit. You ever hear people who help other people and that other person, like let's just say, for example, there's someone who owns this big corporation, right? Who helps someone whose dream is to work for this corporation, and this person gives them a job, but they tell them, hey, you're not going to get paid for it, right? You're not going to get paid for it. It's an internship, but you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn the tools that you need to make it to the next level. What the narcissist looks at the relationship with empaths, they look at it like an internship. Like, I could pay to have sex, I can pay to do certain things, but I'd rather lie to you and fool you into this contract, fool you into working for my business. And while you're working for me, I'm studying you. See, you're learning from me because I'm a natural born narcissist. So they feel like every supply that has ever been with them has learned their lesson. And a lot of supplies get in relationships with these people, and when they leave, they might struggle for months, years, but eventually they get out of those situations and they come back stronger than ever because they see the narcissist in everyone. And then there's those supplies that just destroy themselves completely. So the narcissist feels like if you destroy yourself completely, then you just aren't meant to survive in this world. They feel like they are stronger than you. It's a competition to them. It's sick. They're competing with you. So there's more people that succeeded and went through the pain and made it out than being destroyed. Don't let the narcissist fool you. Yeah, they might have destroyed people financially and things like that, but that's not all. Happiness, wisdom, knowledge is power, because it gets you through doors that the narcissist can't get through. Or they could get through, but they can't stay there. You got to go home, right? You got to leave, narcissist, eventually. And when the narcissist leaves, they go back to where they came from, and they don't do they had that internship with you. See, they hired you as the internship, for the internship, but they were trying to make it seem like you were going to learn so much shit from them. But you basically learned what not to do. That's why their business is not booming. They act like it's booming. They're selling you, oh, I got other supplies. I got supplies that still want to be with me. I left them. They didn't leave me. They're with the bullshit, right? And then in their head, they're thinking, oh, I need an internship. They want to hire you for an internship. But in the back of their head, they're thinking to themselves, if you were so special as supply, you would already be married. You would already have kids. You would already be in a serious relationship. Why are you even giving me a chance? And my fucking company is fraudulent. My company is built on fraud. And you can't even see the red flags. And when the red flags do pop up, I'm able to gaslight you. So that doesn't work on everyone, right? Certain people get into certain companies, they're like, hey, this is fraud, they were supposed to pay me this week and they didn't pay me. Something weird is going on with this company. You had a week, you had 2 weeks to pay me, you didn't pay me. So red flags pop up. It's not going to work on everybody. The narcissist wants you to think it's going to work on you just because you fell for their con, which is that they're a real business and they're not a real business, and they don't need to get in a relationship with no one because they're not good with business relationships. So how the hell are you going to do how are you going to deal with a marriage relationship, a marriage business, a marriage contract, a relationship contract, a relationship expectations? How are you going to deal with friendships, family, for the long run, for the long haul? So they fool you, they con you, they make you feel like, people, they're desirable, and a lot of times most people won't fall for it. But if the narcissist is in a relationship with someone, the new supply can be deceived by thinking they're desirable and they're a real corporation, when in reality they're a fraud. So this person might be like, okay, I'm buying what you're selling because someone else is feeding, they bought what you're selling, so I trust you. So a lot of people will trust the narcissist based off of fake friendships, relationships that they actually orchestrated to make themselves seem desirable with materialistic things, etc. The narcissist feels like I said, they feel like if you were so desirable, you would already be with someone and you wouldn't be falling for their con. But in actuality, they did the reverse Uno card on you, because in reality, if they were desirable and they were such a catch, they wouldn't have to go from supply to supply. And they could say, oh, that's because that's how I want it. I want to have fun. I want this. I want that. Things aren't ever, they're delusional people. The delusion, it does not stop. It does not stop, they go, and they get older. Let's just say, for example, might even get a divorce because they feel like, oh, I got money, I don't really need you now. They conned you into a relationship because they knew they would never work for a corporation like yours. They were never on your level to begin with. Right? This is someone that won't give you credit. They wanted to act like they hired you and you should be lucky to be with them. But in reality, while you're doing your internship, they're studying you. They're studying your behaviors. They're studying your mannerism, your etiquette. And then they distort you. They get you emotional. They get you to act like them. They get you to be envious, jealous. They get all those negative emotions out of you because they know that you're like a virgin. You haven't felt that type of rage, that type of sadness. So they bring that out of you, and then they say, see, this is what will get you fired from the corporation. You're fired from my corporation. But in reality, they used all your tools, all your data. They needed you to access certain doors, certain portals that they couldn't access, right? So then they move on to the next supply. And this is why I say everything always backfires on them. So they go to the next supply with this big ego. They feel like they're better than you because they crushed you. Yet they wouldn't leave you alone. You told this person to leave you alone. You probably told them to leave you alone as well. You probably told them, hey, don't come back. I want to have a peaceful relationship. I want this. I want that. They could have love bombed you and lied to you again. And they were buying time. They were buying time. They're like, I'm gonna quit soon. I just need another check, but I'm gonna quit soon. But I need you. So they actually needed you, you know? And then they feel like they don't need you because they're on to the next. They're on to the next con, right? Even if they move to the next con, to another business venture, another business deal with a new supply, another contract, another relationship, and they bring, it's like starting a job. You really were about to get fired, but you said, I quit, it's over. They break up with you. I broke up with them. They didn't break up with me. They're like children. They're like kids. They're weird. They get with the next person, right? They're not going to give you any credit for being the person that they are, the person that you think that they are, because they supposedly changed, right? They're not going to give you credit. This is like someone giving you an opportunity and you basically don't give that person credit, and you say that that person didn't do anything for you. You didn't do anything for me. If anything, I did for you. Oh, you were never going to have anybody. Nobody's ever going to want you. Nobody ever wanted you. Nobody this, nobody that, right? They're in a competition with you. But they weren't even on your level to begin with. The reason they were attracted to you was because they weren't on your level. They fooled you to think that they were on your level. And that made the narcissist feel like, hey, if I could be with you, I could be with anyone. I could be with anyone in any level. I can go over here to what's that? I can go to Venice Beach, walk the boardwalk, and I could talk to all kinds of people. I could fit in anywhere. The supply is what makes the narcissist confident. It's not real confidence. If they don't have any people in their life, if they get discarded, it's not real confidence, because real confidence will stand alone without anybody. Like, real confidence doesn't need a relationship, friendships, people, anyone, right? The narcissist tries to make it seem like they don't need anybody to get where they want, but it's a complete lie. They're lying. They don't like, and they'll tell you, oh, it's not that I can't do it alone. I just don't like being alone. It's bullshit. They want you to think that they're desirable, like I said. So they get to feeling like, I could fit in with anyone. Life isn't really serious. People take life too serious. This is where that childlike behavior comes. So they're very good at, finessing someone with good conversation or with just good energy, or a good time, partying, things. But when it comes to serious stuff, when it comes to trusting the narcissist knows that they're not trustworthy. But if the circumstance and the situation and the money looks good, they will pretend, because they're not dumb. They're just manipulators. They'll do it. They'll be honest. They'll be loyal, but it's not based off of their principalities, because they don't have any principalities. It's based off of, I'm going to do this because I'm going to get what I want from it, not because it's the right thing to do. So this is what usually gets them basically back to step one, where they've always been. So a lot of times they know that the empath is going to think like this. You're going to wish bad on them. You're going to feel like you're not a loyal person. You're pretending to be loyal. They're going to tell you, oh, it's just you that doesn't like me. Other people like me, etc., etc. But narcissists are like children. There's always going to be red flags, because it's like going into a new corporation, and there's rules, and you say to yourself, oh, I remember the rules from the last relationship. I remember what I did wrong. I remember I planted seeds for the new supply, technically the old supply. You become old supply. So they live vicariously through the mistakes that you made, because they caused a lot of that with their negative energy, and they'll learn from you. So they'll think to themselves, your motivation basically for them, you're what keeps them going. So that's kind of sick that someone is motivated by the pain they've caused on others. That's not real confident. And if anything, what that's going to do is that's going to make you feel guilt and shame, and you're going to feel like a shitty person, but you're going to deny that you're a shitty person, and you're going to keep saying that, you're going to keep validating yourself to tell yourself that it wasn't that serious what you did, or forget about it. I'm not gonna let what I did in my past, the cheating, the lying, I'm not gonna let, they basically numb their emotions to what they did. They're like, I'm not gonna let that affect the new version of who I am, right? That's what they tell themselves. So they change, right? They use you as motivation. They tell themselves, I'm gonna use the blueprint. While you're fucking up and you're ruining your life, and you're acting like how I was acting, like a wild animal, and you're mad and you're jumping on people because you see that there's narcissists everywhere feeding off of your emotion. While you're fueling all these narcissists, I'm going to remain silent, because that was my problem. My problem was I was reacting. But I even though I took your advice and you told me not to react, I tried to pretend like reacting is not a big deal. So you're teaching them things, but they're going to continue doing bad things, if not worse things. That's why they treat you worse than before. Instead of giving you credit, they're going to treat you worse. And that's because they want you to believe that it doesn't matter how good you are to someone, they're going to treat you worse, right? And they're also basically saying, there's people like me out here. So you will think to yourself, there's no good people. I was so good to the narcissist. I tried every type of, everything. It's like trying to, get your kid to do something, but they're grown, they're adults, and they don't listen anymore, and you really can't change them. They're stuck in their ways. They're having children, and you might blame yourself because you wish you would have known certain things to teach them back in the day, but it's too late. And because you have guilt, you allow your kids to get away with stuff as adults, because you're like, I can't change them anymore. I can't teach them certain things. They don't want to listen, right? So the narcissist gets off on thinking that they're better than you, because they feel like they left you in the sunken place, and you're basically going to believe that everyone is like them, So this will make people lash out at people. So you'll start living off of emotion. I'm not going to let another narcissist do that to me. I'm not going to let another narcissist gaslight me. I'm not going to see, the narcissist had to deal with all of that. And they felt like their pain was more than yours. That's why they didn't feel that. That's why they felt like it was easy sacrificing you, because you had good energy. Now, when you're aware of the bad energy, the narcissist is basically like, let's see how you deal with the negative energy. And now they're fueled because they know that you're going through it. And every time they do something, anytime they do something good, they do it with the thought of you, with the thought of the people from the past. Anytime they do something, it's, oh, I'm going to buy this car. Everyone's going to be jealous of me. My ex is going to be jealous of me. It's everything that is done. It's not done out of happiness, true happiness. And they're not grateful. You know what I'm saying? They're not grateful that you helped them. They're not going to give you credit for anything they're going to say, you didn't do anything for me. What did you do for me? Gave me a place to live? Like, that shit ain't nothing. Like, bills don't mean that. Like, they're like children, like they're living a fairy tale land, fairy tale story. They'll say, you didn't do nothing for me, right? Oh, you gave me? What, I stayed at your house? I got my own house. What, I ate your food? I got my own food. They were greedy. They were greedy people. So, they'll go on to the next person and they'll say, oh, I learned from the other person. I'm going to share. I'm going to do these things to make it seem like I'm a good person, right? But when tough situations, when real life situations that will test them, or when things are going good for them, or let's just say they get a bonus at work, they're going to fuck it up because they're going to start feeling themselves. They're going to feel like gods. Oh, I got a bonus at work. They're going to start spending it on bullshit, hookers. They're going to say, oh, I'm going to travel to New Amsterdam so I could go to the red light district. But really, they're going to say, oh, I'm really into nature and stuff like that. And then they're going to get robbed. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to your narcissist. I'm just giving you an example of how things happen with these people. They're gonna post online, oh, New Amsterdam, right? I went to New Amsterdam. They're not gonna tell you they got arrested. They're not gonna tell you that they were fighting for their life. You're just gonna see the nice picture, right? They're gonna post the picture. Once they get out of that bad situation, they don't care about the bad situation. As long as they were able to post that picture to make you believe things are still good in their life, right? And you might have told them, life ain't as easy as you think, narcissist. You think everything's going to be good with that new supply. You're not living in the real world. You think going to get your own apartment is going to make you happy because you're going to go and you're going to be able to mess with as many women as you want. You're going to get old. How are you going to retire? You can't make what happens when you can't make fast money anymore because you're not young looking anymore? What's going to happen when you can't get a retirement check? What's going to happen when, you need someone to help you move around and you can't move around? What's going to you're looking at you could be in a better situation, but the narcissist will try to make it seem like your situation doesn't matter. Sometimes you could see the narcissist's demise, but they will make it seem like, no, I can live life without you. I don't need you. I used you. I'm gonna get on because now you know what I am. Now you don't respect me anymore. You don't respect what I have to say because you will feel like you surpassed the narcissist mentally. You'll get to the point where it's not that you were ever dumb. You were just nice. It wasn't that you were dumb. You were just nice. Once you realize you can't be nice to these people, it don't matter if they're homeless. It don't matter if they're rich. It don't matter. You just cannot be nice because they don't appreciate what you do for them. People that appreciate what you do for them, they will keep coming around you because they feel like they can learn from you, right? But you also have to be aware that when someone feels like they learned, everything there is to learn about you, or at least as far as what their mind can take, these people can turn on you. That's what narcissists do. They turn on you. And then they act like you're turning on them as an excuse, right? Everything is always a projection. Because a lot of times when you're not vibing off of emotion, the narcissist will accuse you of things. They'll say things to you. They'll call you names. You can heal and move on with your life, start a new relationship, new friendships. And when you talk to these people, they will talk to you like you're dumb, like you don't know what's going on, when you were never dumb. You were just nice to the wrong person. You learned about bad people, and you learned that certain people won't give you your credit for being there when they were weak in their life. So, you'll ignore it because you know that they're basically embarrassed because they know they exploited you. It's not that they're embarrassed, but they don't want to look at themselves and they don't want to look at you. So they'll continue abusing you because they want you to believe that narcissists live in this world where they're unstoppable, to inflict more fear onto you so you don't trust anybody. They don't want you to make it to a different level they already know you're capable of surpassing them if you're able to gain clarity about who they are because they're stuck at a certain level mentally. So the narcissist can walk through many doors, but they cannot stay there. Their time is limited. And just like they had time with you, you could say this person broke your heart, this person walked away. But technically speaking, a lot of you walked away from the relationship mentally. The narcissist is just the one who did the breakup physically, and they're very prideful about that. Oh, I break up with everybody. They're very prideful about that. But that's what keeps them also in the delusion of not being able to see that the only reason these people stuck around is because they loved you, not because they had to. So when they get around other people, they get their karma because people stick around with them. Now they're in a better situation. Now they have their own corporation, and now they fooled people in this corporation to work for them again. They started a new business under a new name, and now, you know, there's gonna be blanks in these contracts, with the new supply. And the new supply is going to be, if they feel like they made it to another level, that means that new supply is not going to be as dumb as they think. They might just be better at playing dumb with them. And that person might feel like, hey, you're an older guy. I expect you, the narcissist feels like, I finally got my apartment. I finally left my marriage and I could do whatever I want. That new supply is like, oh, you have your own place. You have your own money. I need to be taken care of. I'm the real deal. I'm young. I'm the one that's the prize. And the narcissist might feel like, yeah, you're right. You are the prize. This is why I left. This is the kind of life I wanted to live. You think that they're happy. And this is why sometimes when things don't work out and the narcissist realizes that they're nothing but a sugar daddy now because they're old and they've been playing games from one level to the next. And now they realize, oh, only people want me for my money. Okay, cool. I don't care if that's what I have to do. I want to have fun anyway. So they lie to themselves. I want to have fun anyway. That's what life is about, having fun. La La Land. They love being in La La Land. They love they're like, I know, they feel like they have a lot of information, but they feel like none of that information matters. I'm going to go to La La Land and have fun. And then once they go into that world and they're having fun, shit is going on. People are doing disloyal stuff. They're being lied to. They're being used. They're being exploited. They start focusing a lot on these supplies that they're triangulating with because now they feel like they're bachelors. They conned other people to get what they wanted. And now they realize they're in this endless cycle. And then when they're broke, they're expecting even strangers to look out for them. They befriend everybody. I've had narcissists, I always keep everything professional, but this is why I know this to be true, because I've came across a lot of narcissists that they look wealthy. Some of them do have money, but they're still greedy. And they're constantly, it's like you could sense the survival mode on them. It's like can you do a favor for me? Can I get this? It's very like scavengers. Like they're like scavengers. Like if you were to go somewhere, you would just pay for something, right? Because that's what you want, right? The narcissist is always trying to make a deal with people, always making deals, always trying to connect with people to get something out of it, always pretending to be nice and being, they try to even pretend like they're professional. They try to put themselves in your shoes only for the sole purpose of you feeling like they're like you, so that they feel like they're smarter than lower grade narcissists, right? So these people, they'll do anything to stay on top. And then when they do anything to stay in that position, even though there's bad energy coming, that new supply is getting bad luck, you know, now people from the past or certain situations are happening, their past is haunting them, you know, they end up getting nervous because their past is haunting them. So now they're twisting stories and playing the victim. They're giving people half truths. And people are watching them. They're watching. The narcissist thinks, if I don't tell the full truth and I give bits and pieces of the truth to fit my narrative, then I can get people to feel sorry for me, and I could exploit them to throw it back on the people who are bringing guilt and anger or a dark cloud over me, right? So this is why they're always on victim mode. They want people to feel sorry for them. When you met them, they wanted you to feel sorry for them. And then when they're getting over on you, you'll tell them, hey, you said that someone hurt you, that someone did this to you, and you're doing it to me. You know? So they're sick. They're like children. They're like literally like kids, like not developed, or something's, I don't know, like something is wrong with them. And then on top of that, because a lot of women been living in fairy tale land based on movies and what they were fed, or just coming from broken homes, a lot of men are made to feel like they got to grow up quicker. So there's a lot of good men out here too. But it's hard for the good men to find a good woman, because a lot of the women that they run across seem like real women, but they end up being Jezebel spirits. So they almost don't know. They almost have to learn the lesson between the Jezebel spirit and a real woman, because the Jezebel spirit can make you feel like she's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of similar traits, because it's that artificial intelligence, just like with the narcissist. They make you feel like they're real. It's a real company, but it's not, right? It's not a real company. So it's going to fall in the end. It's going to fall apart eventually. And they're going to have to change. They're going to have to come back with a new name. But they're not going to change their ways. They're not going to go back and say, "Oh, I'm going to be a good guy. I'm going to do things the proper way." They're not going to do that. They're just going to come back under a new name, with new rules, with new everything, right? New haircut, they're just going to come back as a new corporation. They're not going to stop conning. They're just going to learn how to con better, because they've been doing it for so long. You get it? So, what's crazy is that these people will tell you who they are, you know. So basically, the narcissist is someone who will gaslight you. Like, these people will gaslight you to the point of death. I'm not playing with you. Like, to the point of death, they will gaslight you. If they're dating, right? If they're dating, a lot of times they want to move real fast. If they don't have supply, they might have supply. They can move slow and have supply, you know, but most of the time they're going to want to move fast. When they move slow, it also has a lot to do with the type of person they're moving slow. If they're moving slow with you, they might feel like you're really, really good. You're going to end up being really good supply, because you're not, they know you have morals. You know, they know that you probably you haven't had sex, you're reserved. So if they're going slow with you, it has to be for something that they saw in you, you know, or maybe you're putting boundaries up for them. And they really, you know, they're like hunters, you know, they're predators. So they like the hunt. You know, it doesn't mean that they're not eating. They're greedy people. So any attention that they can get from anybody, sometimes you think you're the only person they're talking to, or they might act like they're serious people. But in reality, if they were bold enough to talk to you, they're bold enough to talk to anybody. So you have to keep that thought in your head. And this is why a lot of times People need to learn how to move slow. But even with moving slow, they could be moving slow with you at your pace because they feel like you're, like I said, you're going to be really good supply for them when things fall apart for their company, their corporation. They know it's going to fall apart because they're not real. They tell you they're real. Oh, I'm a real dude. I'm a real bee, right? I'm a real bee. A real bee doesn't run in packs. A real bee is someone that people might not like because they're controversial, but a lot of times they're controversial because they're telling the truth and they can stand on their own. You do not stand on your own. You don't like being alone. Oh, nobody likes being alone. Yeah, of course, true. That's true. Nobody, not for too long, right? Nobody likes to be alone for too long. But nobody likes to force themselves on people that they don't like in order not to be alone. That's just kind of disgusting and sick. You know, so things are constantly backfiring on them. You know, they want you to think everything is the good. This is why I wanted to make this, talk about this, because everything backfires on them. Everything comes back to them. Everything, they always have to bite their tongue with their words, and everything that they said to you, calling you names, talking crazy to you, they're going to have to pay for all that, and they don't want you to know that, and they're not going to accept that the shit that goes on with them comes from you, from the energy they put out, because they don't believe in God. They don't believe in anything. They just feel like it just happened by chance. That's how stuff goes, but why, they feel like, okay, fate is on your side this time, just this time. They feel like it was just luck. Another thing is that when they're with the new supply, like I said, they learn from their mistakes, and then they tell themselves that they're a new person. When the red flags start coming up again, because there's different levels to narcissism, and just like there's different levels to poverty and wealth, right? There's different levels. The narcissist just cons their way in every level, but there's only so much you can do when you con your way to different levels. People are going to know that you're a fraud. So you can fool the supply, but you might not be able to fool her friends and family. You know what I'm saying? Bad luck. You think that you could con somebody who comes from a broken home, but you go get the girl of your dreams, and all that bad luck starts happening. And guess what? The family, friends, everybody knows that bad luck has to be coming from you, because it wasn't happening until you came into the picture. So everything is not what it seems like, A lot of times you'll tell the narcissist, hey, life ain't what you think it's cracked up to be. Hey, we have a house, it's paid off, you could tell these people they're only going to make their life harder when you can even try to work an arrangement with them, right? The love might be gone, but you could still make an arrangement because you're so far deep, or or you might have children, or you might have a company together, or a home. Most supplies don't want to leave because of everything they've built. The narcissist, a lot of times, they're even willing to throw away everything for the new supply, and you're almost like in disbelief. So my whole thing is, narcissists do not make smart choices, and they always have to pay for everything that they do, and they always want to walk around very arrogantly, like they're the older they get, they act like they're young, and then they try to act like they're more desirable, like women want them. And I'm telling you, because I always shut down narcissists. They're always approaching me left and right, and I'm always very catty with them, and they just keep coming back like roaches. They don't leave. They need my attention. They clearly see I don't give them attention, and they just keep coming back. And it's actually pretty scary because they really want to win, right? They really love deceiving people. They know when you see through them and it's still a challenge to them. And when you call them, when you finally pick up on all their red flags, when you call them out on their lies, you know what they're going to do in the end? They're just going to tell you they're narcissists. They're going to be like, I'm a narcissist. This is what I'm looking for. Take it or leave it. They're trying to sell you to the end. Like, they're going to try to sell you to the end. And if you give them any fuel, if you're intimate, if you laugh at their jokes, if you believe their fake charisma, anything that you give them is fuel. So when you are not taking candy from this stranger, you're not getting baited in any kind of way, not even by their jokes or their fake compliments that they give women, they become angry. They want a reaction. They want to feel like you, when you give them a reaction, that makes them feel good because it makes them feel like you don't know how to control your feelings, kind of like them. They don't know how to control their feelings, but they learn how to control their feelings with you because they don't have any feelings towards you. But when they go with a new supply and it's new and exciting, they're going to be showing more emotion to that person because it's something new. Once it becomes boring, it's back to the same. They're miserable. They're back in their misery, right? So everything is a game. Everything is deception. Every narcissist that I've seen in my life, even with friends, family, my grandmother is 90 years old. She was always forgiving to bad people, and I would think, why? And honestly, in the end, I kind of realized why. Mostly every bad person that has done something to her came back and apologized, and it's because she didn't react to them. Certain people that you reacted to because you knew that they were doing you wrong and you cussed them out and you said certain things to them, usually they won't come back because they feel like you're just going to throw it in their face. Like, I told you so. But when you handle shit with grace and with class, a lot of times these narcissists will come back and, they'll apologize. And even though they apologize, it doesn't mean they change. It just means that, they need fuel. They need someone to feel like they are capable of change. But a lot of times the only reason they approached you is because you release them out of your life with love. That's why they felt comfortable coming back. Other than that, you guys, this is where I'm going to end this video. Sending you guys lots of love, light, peace, and your healing. If you guys enjoyed this, please like, share, comment, subscribe to this new channel, and for support, you guys. And I'm still doing booking sessions. If you guys want to book with me, my booking information is on the description. Just give me 24 hours to respond to you, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.